Hi, welcome to the Mohua show. My name is Mohua Chinappa and I am an author, entrepreneur, and ex-housewife. This podcast is about everything from business to technology to arts to lifestyle, but done and spoken ईमानदारी से. Hi, in today's episode, we have with us a very, very talented and a very creative individual. Her name is Tejaswi. She has made quite a mark in the fashion scene in Hyderabad. I had the great opportunity of visiting her store and I completely fell in love with the work that she is doing. Her brand is called Aaral. And so, for all the fashion enthusiasts, if you haven't yet found Aaral, you are really missing out on a great brand that does amazing stuff with Indian fabrics and cuts that are absolutely beautiful. And welcome, Tejasvi, in today's episode. So, just for our listeners, tell me a little bit about what inspired you to become a fashion designer.
Thank you so much for all the kind words, Moa, really. Basically, I have always been very enthusiastic when it comes to arts and colors. Probably, I wouldn't say that I was always very good at the craft. Like, I'm not saying that I'm very artistic while when on terms of painting or dancing, but I always had the interest to keep trying, even if it didn't turn out, the of course obvious perfect image that it had to be, but I always had that enthusiasm and interest to try something towards the art side. And yeah, when I was a child and while growing up, I always saw a lot of there was always a lot of topic going on terms of clothing or fabric or something which probably, I don't know, subconsciously was inside my head, where the interest started to grow. And then that's how I started planning on taking up a design course, and then starting off my own brand. It all goes back to my mother itself, because she's been very creative all her life. I just saw her only trying to be creative, so probably it is in the genes too.
Absolutely, I'm sure it is in the genes because I think we, all of us, inherit our sensibilities from our
Yeah.
mothers, most of us, because I think we grow up watching our mother dress in a certain way and we try and imbibe that as we are growing older. And I mean, when I look back at my own life, I'm a huge fan of solid colors, like a gray, like a blue, and like a white. White is one of my most favorite color, the influence actually is from my mom because she wears a lot of beige, cream, and white, and she wore that mainly because she was very conscious of her complexion because she is darker in comparison to the others in the family that she got married into. So she always chose hues that did not stand out very loud with her. And so, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you when you say that fashion and creativity, all of that is really a trait that sometimes many of us are very fortunate that gets passed on from our mothers who we watch dressing up, putting those things together.
Yeah.
So, just for our listeners, Tejasvi, just tell me, what is the meaning of Aral?
So Aaral means flowers in Sanskrit. It means flower, and so initially when we started off the brand, it was supposed to be like, I started off with 100% initiative to make it as eco-friendly or as organic as possible. So the first 1.5 year, we tried to only work on eco-friendly dyes, and whatever color that you get from the flowers or the fruit leftover is what we used to work on. And but as time started, as we start growing, as we started to work, or even as we started to increase the production, the it got a little difficult for us to go ahead with organic dyes. But now, I would say the only problem that we're facing with sustainability, when you like um, and when you call Aaral sustainable, I would be honest and tell you that it's around 45% to 50% sustainable. I started off with an initiative to be 100% sustainable. Even until like, be it packaging. I mean, the packaging right now also is sustainable. We only use clothing, cotton bags, and everything. But now, as we started to grow, the it's only the dyes that we're facing an issue. Except for the dyes, everything else, the rest is all sustainable and hand embroidered and hand woven and handmade. So now we're working on, the great news is we're again going back to eco-friendly dyes, and we're trying eco-friendly dyes now. So hopefully we are again going back to 80% to 90% being sustainable. And it's a journey, and we're trying to learn every day.
Sustainability and fashion is quite an oxymoron because sustainability and fashion, they both are so against each other as a word, because it is about consuming more and more, right? But then we all know, so the truth is this, that none of us are going to stop dressing up, till the world comes to an end. And of course, and none of us are going to stop buying that dress. Not none, maybe majority of us are not going to stop buying that something that we fancy, because it does a lot to us as people, right? I mean, I'm a avid shopper and a hoarder, and I can tell you that what it does to me when I buy something that fits me well, looks nice on me. I don't think I can compare it to anything else in the world. But I'm extremely fascinated, with the kind of work that you do, and it is absolutely beautiful. So obviously, it has a very individual mark, of yourself. So tell us a little bit about that. In this totally ever evolving fashion industry, where every day you got to keep up, right? Because there are new brands that are coming up, and I would like to believe that Hyderabad is a market where people do consume a lot of fashion, jewelry, and a lot of brands are doing very well in Hyderabad. So how do you kind of manage the two?
So, going back to what you said, when you try being sustainable and everything, yes, the making is very important, but also what is important is when the consumer gets the product, it all lies in their hands. So, most of the sustainability works in the hands of the consumer. Yes, maker, it takes like 50% for us. It goes hand in hand. 50% is the maker and 50% is the consumer. So, what I focused is when I started off Aaral, I thought, let's say if I'm making a garment that can be reworn or reused or styled or paired up with multiple things or worn multiple times without feeling that that sometimes you feel like you wore this shirt like multiple times. Now I don't want to wear another. But when you wear a when you make a certain piece of garment, it should be easy for you to style. It should be easy for you to wear it multiple times. So that's where half of reduce, reuse, and recycle will keep happening. Let's say, suppose if you've purchased a sari from Aaral, which is hand embroidered, you wear it a couple of times, probably you wear it 10, 12 times, then you want to make it into a dress. Sari has like 6 meters of fabric and it's all embroidered. So you make it into a dress. There, half of the wastage is gone instead of purchasing a new dress. Let's say the garments that we make are usually a calf length garments. So just pair up a trouser and a dupatta, then it becomes a whole set. Or just wear it as a dress. It works really great because the necklines that we give are, that works both ways. It either works for a brunch or it also works for a small puja or a festival or anything where you can style it. Anyways, that I've seen that until that is something that I've not seen in the market when I was, in my prime age of purchasing, probably like when I was 21 or 22 when I started to earn. That's when I was until when I went out for shopping. It was always this, and that's when Forever 21 came to Hyderabad. When I started off, like when I started to have that interest on fashion and everything. I remember I was 22, I think. Forever 21 has just, it was the big thing in Hyderabad, and then I went bonkers. I think I must have spent some 10,000 or 15,000 back then. I spent everything. I bought all the clothes. And then later, after a month or two, once I finished wearing all those clothes and everything, I didn't see the purpose of it because the quality was just wearing off. And then I didn't understand what to do with that. So that's when I understood that this is not how you have to shop and this is not how you have to live. Because that basically became some jadu pocha t-shirt only. My mother took it for that only later because the quality was just bad. So slowly when so my thesis in my college was about cottons, and I thought probably and there was Instagram shopping and all of that also was very less back then. Like I'm talking about 5 years ago. I started off RL when I was 22, almost 23. Now I'm 28. So that back then there was not a lot of Instagram shopping also. So and then I just probably I would go to Fab India, and the other stores were very expensive. And then I thought, so this is what is lacking in Hyderabad, because the weather also, keeping the weather conditions in mind, I don't think so a person can keep wearing silks or velvets or any other fabric unless and until it's natural. So I thought that is lacking in, Hyderabad. So I went, looked out for cotton manufacturers, and you won't believe me, I literally found probably there were 1 or 2% of cotton manufacturers that I could find from the best of markets in Hyderabad, because everybody else were dealing with raw silks and velvets. And then I had to go back to my thesis, where I've done it from Warangal. So Warangal, you have like Warangal is from Telangana, and you have like handlooms, and you have like looms, and you have weavers there. So I went back to them. I started procuring fabric, and I started procuring fabric where so. They also make curtains and bedding and all of those bed linen for hostels. So I convinced them to give me to make a softer version of cotton. And then that's how mull cotton and everything has started. And then, I mean, I started to use mull cotton. And then what I've realized is a lot of people were looking for something like this all this while. And we put up an exhibition. So there's this exhibition called Soul Sante. It is famous in Bangalore as well. So they came to Hyderabad, and then I went for the first season, and I thought this is an amazing way of selling. Like, I was amazed to look at how organically you can meet your clients. You will know your inputs of what to sell and what not to sell. What are the clients expecting, and what are the colors that our people are looking for, and everything. So I made a batch of probably, let's say, 10 to 15 outfits, and then we took up a sharing stall with my friend, which was around 7,000 rupees. And I put up a stall, and for the first few hours, probably I think for 4 to 5 hours, nobody came. And then I started wandering off in the same flea market, thinking that, okay, it's okay if it's not working out, let us see and all. And then I went back to my stall, and I saw a lot of people actually standing there. And that's when I understood that, okay, this is actually working out. And then I saw clients purchasing and everything. I think I remember the first client's name also. Her name is Shrija, and she was actually looking for handloom garments, and she purchased like 3 to 4 outfits, and then we made a sale of around 48,000. I put 7,000, and I got 48,000, and then that's when I thought, okay, you can actually make money out of this business also. This is not just for the sake of it. You can also make a business out of it, and that's when it started off.
So a big shout out to Shrija right now for
Yeah,
being your first customer.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's amazing because I think the first person who decides to invest in you, you know that they are finding a value, in what you're doing. I completely relate to it, because being a podcaster, I know what it's like, to just be find that validation to go ahead. So let's just talk a little bit about collaborations, Tejasvi. There are so many collaborations that happen in the fashion industry, and a lot of people do incredible stuff, with collaborations. So have you done anything of this sort that in your journey with Aaral, and that you would like to remember and talk about?
So when you talk in terms of the work, art and work, like manufacturer wise, we have collaborated with a lot of artisans. Like as of now, the hand block prints and the natural dye. So 25% of it is still very completely natural, keeping the dye also in mind. The rest, just the dye is not natural, but the rest is all an organic process of making a garment itself. So whatever the 25% that we collaborate is with the artisans from Pedana. And he's a national award winner. He's called Srinivas, Pichuka Srinivas. And I mean, I love his work, and I'm always in awe of what they do and what they're still trying to do. And we've collaborated with a lot of artisans. Even when we started off digital prints, I definitely wanted to collaborate with artists who are really underrated artists. So we also have a digital printer, an artist who sits and develops all our prints with watercolor first and then render it online. So we always keep collaborating with a lot of artisans on terms of weaves or, on terms of embellishments or on terms of painting or printing or everything. And on terms of when you go to marketing and, branding side, to be honest, all this while I've always only focused on I've focused in on the process of it, and it's just now that I started to talk about the brand, or it's just now that I started to, pitch about what we've done, or to just stand and tell that this is what we've established, this is what we're doing, because I'm a very introverted person, and it takes a lot for me to collaborate or just approach a person asking them saying that this works really well and all. But so we've collaborated with Preetam Jukalkar. He's a stylist in he's from Hyderabad and is well known, and he's been a great push to us. I mean, I think he's pitched about my work more than I've pitched about my work, because he tries to use Aaral as much as possible, because he genuinely loves what we do and the finishing or the detailing that we give. So yeah, Preetham has been a great push, and but now I am trying to come out of my comfort zone, because thanks to Moa also, this is because like a lot of people have all like they've approached us to talk about Aaral, or to because it is necessary, because you've I've been running this brand for 4 years, and we're a team of around 28 people, and we are organically growing, and it is necessary for us to tell the world that what we're trying to do, because we also have a lot of dreams that we want to achieve. So it is important for us to talk and start collaborating. But I am looking forward to collaborate, and but when it comes to work wise, we've collaborated with a lot of stylists from Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bombay also.
That's amazing, Tejasvi. And I think you have a great brand there. And that's the reason today you're on this podcast. And so, what is the advice that you're going to give for aspiring fashion designers, who are looking to make a mark in the industry? Because we all realize that it's not easy. It's a very, very tough and a very, very competitive market. And people can be so fickle when they buy a design, right? You just like something one day and the next day you decide that, no, I don't want to pick it up. And I think also post pandemic shopping, methods and patterns have also changed. So, what advice would you like to give youngsters?
It's important for you to start first. Don't think about it's all in the baby steps. Don't think about, yes, keep the bigger picture in your mind, but also remember that it doesn't happen in a day. Like probably like you start off a page today and then tomorrow you will have 10,000 followers, and if that's what you're expecting from it, then it gets difficult. It is very important for you to put an effort to do the same work that you're trying to do every day. It is similar to 9 to 5, but with a lot of other jobs as well. But you should be able to ready to take up anything and any work. You should not lose your heart, and when you are starting off any brand, see to that it is somewhere individually matching with your morals and ethics. Probably it has to be a touch of, I mean, it has to be unique. I wouldn't say unique. I'm saying it has to be authentic. It has to be. It has. It should. It should have an essence of you, basically, and it should be something that you should trust and believe in. Um, yeah, I mean, while starting off, I'd suggest them to start slow, because otherwise, it's always a stress inside your head, thinking that you will have a lot of liabilities, bills, and everything, which might make you try a little less. You'd want to always look for the safer options if you have like a lot of liabilities. But if you start slow and if you start small, you can always try, and even if you fail, it is okay. So just you should always have that in your head, that it is okay if you fail, or if it's okay if it's not going to happen.
Lovely. And we spell Aaral as Aaral is where you can find Tejaswi's amazing brand. And I think she has a lot of beautiful designs. And for our listeners who are looking to buying that outfit, for a special occasion, just head out. And thank you so much for being on today's podcast. To you, our dearest listeners, you can find us on your favorite streaming services, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and of course on all other major streaming services. With loads of love, we are The Mohua Show, where we talk ईमानदारी से.